All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. We are back for another wonderful agency live stream. We are especially excited to be here today to connect with Natsuyo Nobumoto Lipschutz. She's an incredible leader in the world of communication, and we had the privilege of connecting with Natsuyo through one of our strategic partnerships, Heroic Public Speaking. It's a very meaningful relationship to Amber as well as our company. And Amber herself actually went through the grad program about a year ago and has since then become a fellow. She's now one of their preferred vendors for Heroic Public Speaking for referring website work. So, we cannot even begin to explain how thankful we are and appreciative we are for this relationship. And, it really gives us the opportunity to connect with some incredible people and work with some incredible people, such as Natsuyo. And that's actually how Amber and Natsuyo had met. They met through the grad program, and later Natsuyo had turned to us for her web development needs. It was a really joyful, fun experience working together. So on that note, Natsuyo, I want to thank you for being here with us today.
And thank you for having me.
Of course, we're so excited. And to kick things off, we would really love to start with you sharing your message with our audience and where your passion developed for your work.
Sure. My message is break through language and cultural barriers and become a world-class business leader. Well, if you haven't noticed already, I'm not American, and I was born and raised in Japan and came to the US after graduating from college.
Okay.
But since my work is cross-cultural communications, I decided to marry a Jewish dentist from Philadelphia just for the sake of it. So I thought it would be fun to have a name like Natsuyo Nobumoto Lipschutz. Yeah, but joke aside, since I came to the US in 1995, I went through three phases in my career. The first phase is when I worked for a Japanese company in New York and mainly dealing with non-Japanese clients.
Okay.
And I was still quite Japanese back then and experienced a big cultural gap with Americans and made many communication mistakes. And the second phase is when I started my own consulting firm after I got an MBA and worked for McKinsey. And most of my clients then were Japanese companies in Japan. And by that time, I evolved to more Americanized and experienced a huge cultural gap with Japanese, even though I'm Japanese myself. And I made many communication mistakes. And the third phase is now. Besides my strategy consulting business, I'm a professional speaker who speaks on cultural diversity, especially cross-cultural communications and global team leadership. And my audience is now very diverse. And I am now teaching global leaders effective cross-cultural communication skills. But when I say cross-cultural communications, I'm not just talking about cross-country like US and Japan, because when you have different values, different ways of thinking or doing things, you form your own unique culture. So it's sort of like a culture of one, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking about cross-functional, cross-department, cross-regional, cross-occupational, and it all comes down to the culture of one individual. So it's pretty much everyone and everything. So even if you're from the same country or region, your culture and communication style could be very, very unique, right?
Yeah.
So what makes you successful in your culture doesn't make you successful in their culture. And I learned it the hard way from my own communication mistakes. And I talk about my mistakes in my keynote speeches. But I now know that in order to become an effective world class leader and communicator, we must be able to break through cultural and personal barriers.
Yes.
So I developed a three-step process called the three A's. So you can achieve your goal as a world-class business leader. And if the cultural diversity is the weakest link for in your team, the viewers team, I can help you and your team improve the trusting relationship and productivity.
Awesome. And before we kind of move on, I love that because you do, when you think of cross-cultural, you do kind of think of, possibly across the country or across the
Right.
world being
Yeah.
international. But like you said, it can definitely be just different departments within an
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah,
Especially,
definitely. Yeah, I actually heard from someone saying, well, I don't deal with international companies or businesses, and it's not really for me. But after he heard my speech, he said, "Oh, that could be me because the way I talk or think, and the way my subordinates think and talk are very
mhm,
different, and there could be generational gaps too.
yes.
And if you're in, let's say, sales department talking to someone in manufacturing, the production department, the way things are done are very different. So this
Mhm.
the three-step process is really relevant to a lot of people, not necessarily cross culture.
Yes. Awesome. Well, so I know you mentioned the three A's. How did you come up with them? And can you touch briefly on, what they are, what they mean?
Sure. I'm a strategy consultant, but also a ballroom Latin dancer.
Oh.
Yeah. You've seen Dancing with the Stars,
Mhm.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
like cha cha, rumba, samba, and all that. Um, and the three A's I developed was inspired by my experience as a dancer.
Okay.
Because Latin dancing is a very interactive partnership dance,
Hmm.
and we move together as a team on a spur of the moment. But we don't talk to each other during the dance.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna turn you now. No, I'm stepping back, right? We don't talk like that.
Hmm.
We don't use words. So, how do dancers communicate then?
Hmm.
That's the three A's. And first, we acknowledge our connection.
Hmm.
And second, we analyze nonverbal cues. And
Hmm.
then we adapt our movements.
Okay.
So, with these three A's, we can effectively communicate what we want to do and where we want to go next.
Hmm.
And effective cross cultural communication goes the same way.
Very cool. And I love how you like tie that in and use that analogy with dance. Because, sometimes people don't understand when you say like, the three words, it might not necessarily resonate, but when you put it into like actual movement,
Yeah.
be like, okay, the wheels start kind of spinning and you're able to connect all those pieces and see how that really
Right.
correlates and ties together.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Love that. Love that. So what are some of the things that you're currently working on now? We'd love to get a deeper look into your platform, to know a little bit more about you.
Sure. I mainly work in two markets now, Japan and North America.
Mhm.
And in the Japan market, besides my strategy consulting work, I'm giving corporate trainings for large global companies, and I'm coaching business leaders. And
Okay.
additionally, I published a book last summer, and it's in the third edition already. And
Awesome.
it's really exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's also being translated into Korean and Chinese right now. And my second book is coming out in April. So it's really exciting for the Japan market.
Extremely.
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations.
And in the North American market, I
Mhm.
provide strategy work and corporate trainings, but I'm currently focusing on keynote speeches as a professional speaker.
Okay. And before we kind of turn to your website, or as we transition into turning to discuss your website, you mentioned the keynote speaking, and the first thing that I notice when I go to your website is that big video background of you, and you get to see you in action and speaking, and it's just very like refreshing and experiential. I love being able to you can
Yeah,
see immediately where like that you're so passionate, and people get that taste, just by visiting your
yeah,
website of how
yeah.
energy comes out. So,
Right. Yeah, it's great that that the video background is the first thing you can see when you visit
mhm,
my website. And
mhm,
there's no sound unless you click on it, but you can still see the dynamic movements and you can see my style.
yeah,
So I think that's really, really impactful. And
definitely.
thanks to you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate that. So, turning to discuss your website a little bit more, I know we did have the privilege of working on it. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience working with NG&G Enterprises?
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of web designers to develop my Japanese websites too. So I have some experience with different people, different vendors, but the whole process with you was extremely easy. And I think it took about like 3 weeks from the very beginning
Mm-hmm.
to the actual launch.
Okay.
And there were easy to follow 3 steps from branding to messaging to design development. And as long as you do your part, you meaning me,
Mm-hmm.
of course, I have to provide the content.
Mm-hmm.
That's your homework, but you guys can work your magic so quickly and very efficiently.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We don't take our, feedback lightly. And I know Amber and everyone on the team is always very appreciative to hear positive feedback. Is there anything that stuck out about your experience, like any, portion throughout us developing the website?
Well, it was I guess it was the vision and the mission you really express,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a lot of web designers out there, but first of all, Amber is also a professional speaker, so she understands what it takes to really promote yourself as a professional speaker,
Mm-hmm.
and so that really came through. And when I first met Amber at HBS grad back in September, I
Mm-hmm.
guess 2019. Um, it, one of our first classes, I saw Amber speak about what she does, and I thought of 2 things. First, this girl knows what she's talking about, and I was like, oh, I might want to ask her.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, those are the boots I was thinking about buying. And that night, I went online and bought the same black leather boots. And next time I saw Amber in October, we were matching like twins, and I'm actually wearing them right now. I want to so show it, but I can't kick up my legs. So it's a really nice, sexy black boots.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but it didn't take me too long to learn that her websites look even more fabulous than our
Mm-hmm.
boots. Because Amber is also a professional speaker, like I said, she can put herself in our boots,
Mm-hmm.
and she knows what content, what design, and what functions an effective speaker website should have, just like the video background you talked about.
Yes.
So it was an obvious choice for me to ask Amber to work on my website that produces results.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a when it comes to website design, a balance is very important. And what I mean by that is you don't want to have a content heavy website that overwhelms visitors,
Yeah.
but you also don't want to have something that's very pretty but no valuable information in it. So the
Mm-hmm.
website you guys created for me was just right, the perfect balance.
Perfect. We love hearing that. So thank you for sharing that. We do have some viewers in our community who have maybe, are considering working with us or, maybe have not taken that next step. For any of our viewers who are possibly on the fence, what would you say to them?
Sure. Um, Going forward, I want to split my time between being a keynote speaker and a corporate trainer. And
Mm-hmm.
as a keynote speaker, I want to touch as many lives as possible with my own unique stories and insights and positively influence the way they think about the world.
Mm-hmm.
And as a trainer, um, I want to share with business leaders the how to's of effective communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
So I can help them increase their cultural awareness and leverage cultural diversity within their team and build trust and enhance productivity and become a world class leader who can succeed anywhere in the world.
Yes.
So that's my mission.
Perfect. And how can we support you get this out in a bigger way? We'd love to be able to support you along, your steps and
Sure. First, go to the website and take a look.
mm-hmm.
And the website will provide you with the information about my talk and my background. So if anyone, any one of you are have a challenge of cultural diversity or any communication issues, send them my way, and I can provide either keynote speech or a training program.
Definitely. And I know Natsuyo mentioned visiting the website. We will be dropping that her website link down in the comments. So please go check it out. Check out the beautiful video background that we're talking about, and also see how Natsuyo can support you further with your company and your company's mission. Natsuyo, is there anything that you would like to add before we?
Well, I think we covered everything.
All right. Well, perfect. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I really enjoyed having you here with us.
Same here.
And if you are anyone who is like Natsuyo and you're wanting to get your message out in a more professional, well-packaged way, I do know that Amber and the team would love to have a no-pressure conversation with you. We do offer full transparency. We'll offer our pricing menu up front, which you can download at ngenterprises.com. And if maybe you're not looking for website development help at the moment, we also do offer our Leverage to Scale program, which is more about done for you marketing. So it will train either yourself or one of your assistants to get that baseline marketing done for you in a significantly less amount of time. So I will be dropping both links in the comment section, as well as Natsuyo's link. And thank you again, Natsuyo. I really enjoyed learning about your mission, learning about your passion. And so for the rest of you, in the meantime, just remember, no guts, no glory. We will see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.